Hey y'all, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to show you one of my favorite resources for finding answers to questions you may have about knitting and crochet. So this is from a website called yarnstandards.com, which is compiled by the Craft Yarn Council, and which is sort of a governing body about knitting and crochet standards. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. I'm just going to show you some highlights. I'll post a link below. This is a PDF that I downloaded from the website, but it does have a navigation menu online that will allow you to access each of the different pieces of information on this PDF without needing to download anything. So you can just access those on the website. So first thing I'm going to show you is it does have an abbreviation list for crochet. This is going to be really helpful when you're reading patterns. It shows you the abbreviations for different stitches, and then it also has a page that shows you what symbols you might see for measurements, or to be able to tell what to repeat in a pattern. It also has a section for abbreviations on Tunisian crochet specifically, as well as a chart that shows you the different terminology between UK crochet patterns and US and Canada crochet patterns, which is really helpful. It has a page that shows you different crochet symbols, which is useful if you like to work from crochet charts or graphs as opposed to written patterns. And then it has the same information for knitting. It shows you the knitting stitch abbreviations from patterns. It also shows you the abbreviations for different measurements and different symbols that you will see to show pattern repeats, and then also the difference between US and Canada terminology. There are several pages that show the knitting chart symbols. Knitting charts can be a lot more complicated than crochet charts. There are several pages that talk specifically about symbols for cables. Something else that's here that you might find helpful is it has a description of different project levels for knit and crochet. It has a chart showing you what those symbols look like and gives you a little bit of a description for what each of those pattern levels might mean. This is especially helpful if you're pulling patterns from a yarn brand website. They tend to use these standards. There's also a section that shows standard body measurements and sizing for garments. This is helpful if you're writing patterns for knitting or crochet sweaters or hats, gloves, socks. And it's also helpful if you're needing to know how to measure someone to determine what size garment you need to make. It has standard sizing for a variety of sizes for men, women, and children. It also has a page that shows you how to calculate wraps per inch, which is helpful if you have yarn that doesn't have a label on it and you're trying to determine what size or weight it is. So it shows you how many wraps per inch to determine if the yarn is medium weight, jumbo, bulky, super, bulky, fine, whatever it might be. There's also a chart that gives you a lot of information about yarn weights, so the different names that they might be called, the different names of the weights like sock weight, DK, chunky. It also shows you the gauge, which is going to tell you how large the project will be based on that yarn size, and the recommended needle and hook sizes for that yarn weight. There's also a couple of pages that give you schematics and show you what it looks like when, for example, you're making a sweater, and it's going to give you the measurements of different pieces of the garment that you're eventually going to sew together, and it shows you how to understand those. There are pages that give you, for knitting needles and crochet hooks, the conversion between the size in millimeters and the US size range. There's a page that shows you the information that you can expect to find on a yarn label, including care symbols to show you if something can be hand washed, machine washed, if you can use an iron on it. So that's yarnstandards.com. I hope this was helpful. If it was, I'd appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up and would consider subbing before you exit my channel. Thanks for sticking with me. Hope to see you next time. Bye.